and welcome to our Flosstube channel. My name is Stitcher Trish, and my nerdy husband Steven is across the room behind the camera. And welcome to our Flosstube episode number 11. It is January the 9th. It's a Sunday afternoon in Central North Carolina, and we're excited to be back on Flosstube, and thank you for spending time with us today. It's been 2 months since we recorded, and that's pretty much the time interval that seems to work really well for us. So I'm just going to catch you up on what we've been up to and what I've been stitching, because Steven's not involved in that part of this. But we had a wonderful holiday season.
I like to watch.
Yeah, because I stitch while we watch TV. So he likes to watch TV while I stitch. We had a great break, a holiday break for us. We're teachers, so we got about 2 weeks off. Spent time with the family, and we didn't travel much because our family's very close, an hour away. We did do a quick trip to a wonderful little place in North Carolina called Black Mountain. If you ever get the chance to be in North Carolina, it's really close to Asheville. It's a beautiful little quaint town, and it's actually the site of where the historic Black Mountain College was back in the early part of the 1900s. Really, really great little town. Lots of antique stores and crafty stores, and there's a wonderful yarn shop there. If I were a knitter, I'd be all about it. It's cool to walk in and look at all the different yarns, but I know nothing about them. I got this, Steven bought me this beautiful necklace at a kind of vintage store that they have there. It's eclectic. It's great. They have a wonderful German restaurant there that we really enjoy going to. Ice cream shops. Just check out Black Mountain, North Carolina if you ever are this way and visiting the state, and especially if you go to Asheville. It's worth the trip down the mountain a little ways to go check it out. So other than that, we hope you had a fantastic holiday season and a great new year. We're going to go ahead and jump in with the stitching. So since it's been a couple of months and it was less of a work time for us, I was able to get quite a bit of stitching done. So I'm going to share with you a couple of finishes to start off with. The first one I'm going to show you is a piece by Lindy Stitches. This is called Strutting Tom. I've always liked this pattern since it came out, and really, I just like it. It's really cool. I like turkeys. So this is going to be a little pillow when I finish it that goes in a bread bowl that I have, my great-grandmother's bread bowl. So anyway, I did this. This is on a piece of Silkweaver 36 count toasted almond. The pattern calls for a lot of over-dyed flosses, but I used the DMC conversions that Lindy Stitches calls for in the pattern. So this is all DMC. It is one strand of floss over two holes, basically. And I prefer to work with one strand, so that's typically what I will do if I have the option. So I think the DMC is just as beautiful as the overdyed, and it's a whole lot cheaper. And this was just a fun little stitch, quick stitch. So my friend Dr. Kristi, and I will put Kristi's information below, check her out. She asked for this pattern and I sent it to her, and I hope she has as much fun stitching Strutting Tom as I did. And speaking of Dr. Kristi, she also has an Etsy store called Kristi's Corner Needlework, and I'll link that below as well. But she does really cool temperature libraries, and she did one in 2021 that I also I did this. I did the temperature library that she designed, the cross stitch version, and she has a 22 version, and she's got a drink shelf version as well called Grab Y'all Drink. They're really cool. This was the first temperature stitch I had ever done. I had fun with it. I did this on a Aida. This is just Aida that I have in stash. It's probably 35 years old, and DMCs, and I used her versions of the temperatures because North Carolina and Mississippi's not too incredibly different, but you can see how the colors change through the year. Again, it was a lot of fun. I'm not doing a temperature chart this year. I enjoyed it, but it kind of stresses me out because I don't want to get behind. I got behind 1 month, and that just really kind of stressed me out, and I don't stitch for stress. So stitching should be fun, and I just didn't want to have to keep up with it again. I don't know why. That's just something that, no, I'll just give it a break on it. But I had fun with this. I'm going to finish it into a scroll that'll hang here in our office. you know, I've got to figure out how I'm going to do that, but that's my plans for this. So those were the two things that I finished up over the last couple of months. I've gotten to do a lot of other stitching, so I'm going to share that with you. So in the stitching world, you all know this, but maybe some non-stitchers are checking in. WIPs, works in progress. So I'm going to show you several of my works in progress. And because I'm a product stitcher, I like to see finished results. I'm not so much a process stitcher. I don't have a huge number of WIPs, and you're seeing all kinds of WIP parades right now. Basically, I'm going to show you everything I have going. So this is kind of a WIP parade and what I've done this month, all rolled into one video. So it's a 2-for-1. So I've been working on Snow Queen by Mirabillia. Really beautiful pattern. I've loved looking at this since I saw it the very first time on somebody's Flosstube a couple of years ago. So I have a pretty good start on this. Let's see if I can get this straightened out here. So this is the dress and the reindeer's neck. So what I worked on was mostly this area of the dress. I've got a lot of hours just in this little part right here. But anyway, this is what I worked on. This is a Be Stitch Me opalescent frost is the colorway of the fabric, and I believe it's a 32 count is the called for size. Otherwise the beads won't fit, and there's a ton of beads on this, just like many of the Mirabillias. So I'm doing this with the called for, which is mostly DMC and a couple of silks, and I'm doing 2 strands over 2 on this one. So yeah, some progress. You're starting to see your dress come together, and I needed to move the Q-snap, so that's why I kind of stopped and went to something else, because the Q-snap needed to move. So good progress on that one. I'm going to come back to that one here. Since it's Mirabillia month with the Sunshine Stitchers, I'm going to jump back in on that one and participate with them. Another one that I spent a good amount of time on is my Templar Prophecy. This is by Long Dog Samplers, and this is what the full piece looks like. And I'm going to share with you where I am on this. So I'm working from left to right on this. So what I've done this last couple of months is this page. So the pages are about 3 inches or so wide. Okay. And this page is the one that I'm on, and I don't have too much left at the bottom. I just kind of took a break from it because it's a lot of black stitching. So this is page 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5 will fit on here, and then I'll drop down and do the other one. There are 15 total pages on this one. So this is a long-term project for me, but it's a lot of fun, and it's really starting to come to life. I'm about to hit another dragon down here, so once I get onto anything dragon, I tend to kind of stick with it. So those were 2 of my older WIPs that I just got back into and started working on. And then I kind of got startitis, and I don't usually get that, but I did this time. So this is kind of my haul and some new starts all kind of wrapped together into one. This is a piece called Above All by Teresa Kogut. I purchased this pattern at StitchCon this past summer when I was there, because she had a trunk show and so many beautiful things. So this is what I settled on to purchase. So I got started on this. Make sure I get it turned the right direction. Here we go. So I have never done a traditional style sampler. The aesthetic has never really appealed to me, but this one, the message in it is so great, and I was like, okay, let's give this traditional sampler thing a go. Now I understand why people really enjoy doing them, because it was so much fun to do this border. It was intricate and time consuming, but I had a great time. The fabric that I am using is from Fortnight Fabrics. This is Burgundy Truffle. It's a 40 count. I'm a member of the Fabric of the Month Club with the Fortnight guys, and this is from a couple of years ago when they were doing the different types of mushrooms. So I've had this one in stash. So I'm using the DMC conversion that Teresa Kogut has in the pattern. A lot of this, some of these are overdyes. I use the Weeks dye works because I could easily access them, and then otherwise I'm using DMC. So anyway, this is where I am on this. I've a couple of weeks, I think. Last 2 weeks I've primarily focused on this one, but I'm using 1 strand over 2. again, because that's my preference. But anyway, this is coming along great, and I'm really enjoying this, but I've got to stop, put it down, and work on something else. So then also I just got this pattern right at the end of November. It's an Erica Michaels Christmas motif sampler. I have a love of Chrismons. My mother and another lady from my church growing up made Chrismons for our church. I mean, for like 6-8 months every day they were down working on Chrismons. They put together the Christian Year series. I have a huge love for these motifs and these symbols. So I purchased the sampler, and inside the sampler you have not just the sampler but a ton of ornaments. So just because this was a super quick stitch, I did one of the ornament. I was going to get it done for Christmas for my mom, but you see that didn't happen. But I got it stitched, so hopefully next Christmas this will happen, and I'll get it actually finished into an ornament for her. But I just used DMC B5200 on this, and it's 1/2. This is a piece of lugana from a dyer called Hand Dyed Happiness, who is no longer in business on Etsy. Beautiful piece of Violet R Purple is the name of this piece of fabric. So that was fun. And another piece of haul that I purchased is this Plum Street Sampler Summer Delivery. This is a piece I am doing for my sister-in-law's birthday next year. She is a horse enthusiast, and I thought this is, in her house has got a lot of patriotic things. I am going to convert the horse because her horses are not white, they are brown. So I think I found flosses that match the color of the horse on this, that match her horses. She has two, and they're very similar in their fur color. So I got started on it, and this is one I'm kind of keeping in my bag as a travel piece. It's going here and there. So I've not gotten anything but a bare start on this. I got the top right. I am top left starter. That's my preference to start. And again, this is a piece of Fortnight Fabrics. This is from their club. I'm in the gray club from last year, and this piece is called So Vain. I have no idea what month it was from, but it's a 40 count. And the flosses I'm using, I'm doing a conversion. This is my first ever conversion. I'm not using any of the called for, because I have a ton of Bee Stitch Me silk floss. I've been in the club for 1.5 years, so I decided to go through my Bee Stitch Me. I'm pulling out those flosses and trying to see if I can do my own conversion. So this will be my first silk conversion. Again, 1 strand over 2. So that's on its way, and a lot of fun. So those are the things that I've put time and effort into over the last 2 months. And you can see I've got way more stuff than I usually have because, well, I've had more time because school is kind of, marching season ended for me. I'm a high school band director, for those of you that might be new. So once marching season ends, I don't work 12 and 14-hour days anymore. I'm back to a good old 9 to 10-hour day, which is kind of a break for us. And Stephen serves as the assistant for me, so he has to work those hours too. But we're all chill and relaxed now because we're not doing marching season.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, that's what this is.
Chill and relax.
You got it.
Oh.
So, but I am going to show you, as part of my whip parade, the other couple of things that I have that I need to work on, or that will get worked on. One of those is Agnus Dei from Modern Folk Embroidery. This is a piece that I love because of all the Christian symbology in it. Last 2 years, this has been my Lenten focus. So the season of Lent is coming very quickly. So I'm going to pull this one back out once we get to Lent, and I'll show you where I am on it right now. This is done on a piece of legacy linen, and it's a 38 count legacy linen. It is called Heron Gray, and I'm using DMC B5200 on it. So you can see where I am. I went completely left to right instead of across the top on this one. So I've got 3 pages down, and then it's 3 pages across. So my goal for Lenten season this year is to get the next 2 pages going down done. So the lamb's in the middle, and it's not as stitch heavy as all of everything around it. So that's my plan for Lent. And one of my whips. And the last thing I have is something that's it's designed to teach you how to stitch something other than X's, and it's from Sassy Jack's Learning Stitches. I'll put this behind it so you can see what I've gotten done. And this is a free pattern. The top part is free from Sassy Jack's, and this is on a piece of banding. And then the book that helps you learn the stitches is a Jeanette Douglas book, and this is Learning Stitches Sampler. Kim, that owns Sassy Jack's, has several videos where she walks you through how to do the different stitches in here. And I'm way behind. I've only done the first stitch. She's got 5 or 6 videos up with some of the other stitches, and then she hasn't finished the series yet. So I need to get back to this and just get caught up on it. If I'd sit down and focus on it, I'd be caught up with Kim. And I'm sure once she gets her new store up and running, or where she's moving her store to, she'll get back to this and finish this up. But yeah, that is it. That is every whip in my entire collection. So again, I just don't have a lot of them because it causes stress. It's like I've got so many things I got to get done, and I'm just such a product person that that's why I kind of focus on one thing. I did do some shopping, which is kind of unusual for me. You saw a couple of the patterns that I purchased. But I have fallen in love with this series, and everybody's seen this Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods, and the fox was the first one. There's a swan out now that I've got to get my hands on. I love this series. I think it's just gorgeous, and they're supposed to be 12, I believe. So I really would love to get these and put the year together on one piece of fabric sometime down the road. No intention of starting this right now. I think they're gorgeous, and it would make a beautiful blanket or wall hanging for a kid's room. And I have a kid that might get that down the road if he hasn't grown up and turned into an adult by the time I get around to it. But I just think these are gorgeous. So the swan will be purchased very soon. I've just got to get to it. And then I bought a couple, actually 3 Rosewood Manor charts. Last year I finished up Crosses of the Kingdom. There we go, Crosses of the Kingdom. I finished that up last year, and it's framed and in our front room. She has other of the Kingdom patterns, and I purchased all 3 of them because I really liked them. This one is Crowns of the Kingdom. And then Griffins of the Kingdom, and Keys to the Kingdom. No immediate plans to get on any of these, but you know, if you like a pattern, you get it before it goes out of print. And I want to make sure that I had those in my stash, because down the road I may get all 4 of those done and put them in a pattern on our wall. Like I said, I belong to the Fabric of the Month Club with Fortnight Fabrics, so I've got my November and December fabrics here to show you. These were the last 2 installments. This one's called Tea Time. It's super, super light. Just a wonderful, wonderful neutral. And then this one was Pack Hunter, and it's a little darker, a little more purples in it. I enjoyed all the different grays that the guys at Fortnite came up with for the club. So I enjoy their fabrics. I really like stitching on their fabrics, so I stuck with them, and I'm doing this year's. They had a lot of different clubs, so this year I switched over to the Meet the Browns club. So I'll be getting all these different brown neutrals. I'm looking forward to getting those. And then the Be Stitch Me Silk of the Month club. The November ones were all these different blues, and I thought they were just gorgeous blues. So I'm looking forward to adding them to my collection and using them down the road. And then the December one she just called it Mystery. So there are greens and kind of burgundies. Again, beautiful silks. They're wonderful to stitch with now that I've gotten into actually using and stitching with my silks. They work. They flow beautifully. So recommend adding to the Be Stitch Me Silk of the Month Club if you can get into that, and you just check out the website, and I'll have all that linked below. So those were all the things that I've purchased in the last couple of months, and lots of plans to just kind of keep working on what I'm working. And when we hit Lent, I'll switch over to the Agnus Dei. Stephen and I have an Etsy shop that I just need to say it's there, and we have things in there. I do project bags. We've got, I don't know, 10 or 12 different bags in there, and there are lots of scissors, fobs, and needle minders. We have some things in the works, but nothing that we're like digging at right now. Life's been a little busy. School has been really time consuming this year. It's been good. Everything's been great. It's just super time consuming. So eventually we'll get back in the shop and get some more stuff put in there. But if you'd like to go by and take a look, Foreverusneedleraft on Etsy is our Etsy shop. We'd love to help you out if you want any of the things that we have listed in there. I think that's about everything that we've got. I'll go ahead and wrap things up, and I want to thank you so much for joining me. And if you have questions or you just want to say hello, please drop a comment in and I'll respond back to you, and like to get to meet you on the platform. Again, thanks so much for spending time with us, and hope you have a wonderful start to your new year. Take care. Thank you.